From luxurious interiors to gas-guzzling engines, we're counting down the 10 most impressive land yachts that ever graced our roads. You won't want to miss this. Number 1. Chrysler Imperial. Remember when a car's length was a measure of success? Well, buckle up, because we're about to introduce you to the king of the road, the Chrysler Imperial. This behemoth wasn't just a car, it was a rolling statement of American excess. Picture this. You're cruising down Main Street in a vehicle so long you might need a harbor pilot to park it. That's the Imperial for you. This land yacht stretched an impressive 19 feet from bumper to bumper. To put that in perspective, it's longer than some studio apartments in New York City. But the Imperial wasn't just about size. Step inside and you'd find yourself in a mobile living room. Plush velour seats, wood grain accents, and enough leg room to host a small dance party. It's like your grandmother's prized sofa set got wheels and an engine. Number 2. Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special. Remember when we said the Imperial was the king of the road? Well, hold on to your hats, because we're about to introduce you to the Emperor of Comfort, the Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special. This wasn't just a car, it was a rolling palace that made you feel like royalty every time you slid behind the wheel. Picture this. You're cruising down the boulevard in a car so plush you might mistake it for your living room sofa. That's the Fleetwood for you. This beauty took luxury to a whole new level. We're talking seats so soft you'd swear they were stuffed with clouds. And the dashboard, it looked like it was carved straight out of your grandpa's prized mahogany desk. But here's the real kicker. The Fleetwood 60 Special wasn't just about looks. This baby rode smoother than a hovercraft on silk sheets. How did Cadillac pull it off? Well, they had a few tricks up their sleeve. The suspension was so advanced it could probably smooth out a gravel road. Number 3. Buick Electra 225. Now, hold on to your steering wheels, folks. We've seen gadgets galore in the Fleetwood, but there's another giant waiting in the wings. Ever heard of the Buick Electra 225? This beast earned a nickname that'll make your jaw drop. Picture this. You're cruising down the highway in a car so long, you might need binoculars to see the back bumper. That's the deuce and a quarter for you. Yep, you heard that right. 225 inches of pure American steel. But size wasn't the only thing this beauty had going for it. Remember how we talked about fancy features? Well, the Electra had a trick up its sleeve that'd make even James Bond green with envy. Under that mile-long hood lurked a 455 cubic inch V8 engine. This bad boy packed 250 horses, ready to gallop at a moment's notice. And get this, despite being as big as a whale, this land yacht could swim through traffic like a shark. 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds? In the 70s, that was practically teleportation. But here's the real kicker. Buick somehow made this behemoth feel sporty. How'd they pull off that magic trick? Number 4. Lincoln Continental. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. We're about to cruise into the world of presidential proportions with the Lincoln Continental. Remember how we marveled at the Buick Electra's surprising speed? Well, get ready for a car that redefined power in a whole new way. Picture this. It's the 1960s, and you're the leader of the free world. What are you riding in? None other than the Lincoln Continental, of course. This wasn't just a car. It was a rolling fortress fit for a king, or in this case, a president. Those sleek lines and that imposing grille became symbols of American might, turning heads from Main Street to Pennsylvania Avenue. But here's where things get really interesting. The Continental had a party trick that made getting in and out a breeze, even in a tight spot. Ever heard of suicide doors? These bad boys open from the back, making every exit feel like a red carpet moment. Talk about making an entrance. Now, you might be thinking, sure, it looks cool, but what about protection? Well, hold on to your hats, because the presidential versions of these beauties were practically tanks in disguise. Bulletproof glass, reinforced bodies, and enough high-tech gadgets to make James Bond jealous. It's like they took Fort Knox and slapped some wheels on it. Number 5. Chrysler New Yorker. All right, we've seen tanks on wheels, but how about a slice of the Big Apple rolling down your street? That's right, we're talking about the Chrysler New Yorker. This bad boy wasn't just a car, it was like driving the spirit of New York City itself. But here's the kicker. You didn't need to be a city slicker to love this urban cruiser. Back in the 70s, the New Yorker was turning heads from coast to coast. Why? Well, it had this magic trick of blending East Coast cool with Midwest practicality. Imagine cruising down Main Street in a car so smooth, it could make a pothole feel like a silk road. That 124-inch wheelbase wasn't just for show, folks. Now, you might be thinking, sure, it's comfy, but what about power? Hold on to your hats, because under that mile-long hood lurked a 440 cubic inch V8 engine. This baby could go from stoplight to highway speed faster than you could say, "I love New York." Number 6. Oldsmobile 98. Hold on to your steering wheels. We've seen some impressive engines, but the Oldsmobile 98 is about to blast us into the stratosphere. Remember how we mentioned the New Yorker's 440 cubic inch V8? Well, the Olds 98 said, "That's cute," and rolled out with its rocket V8. This bad boy wasn't just powerful, it was like strapping a NASA rocket to your car. Picture this. You're cruising down Main Street in a car that looks like it could take off at any moment. That's the Oldsmobile 98 for you. This beauty wasn't just inspired by the space race, it practically had a launch countdown. With up to 365 horsepower under the hood, you might need mission control just to park it. But here's the kicker. The Rocket V8 wasn't just about raw power, it was packing some seriously advanced tech for its time. We're talking high compression ratios, 4-barrel carburetors, and even lightweight aluminum parts. It's like they took the future, shrunk it down, and stuffed it under the hood. Number 7. Buick Estate Wagon. All right, we've seen rockets on wheels, but what about a rolling living room? That's right, we're shifting gears to talk about the Buick Estate Wagon, the land yacht that turned family road trips into luxury cruises. Picture this. It's 1975 and you're packing up for a cross-country adventure. But here's the kicker. You're not just bringing the family, you're bringing the whole neighborhood. The estate wagon wasn't just big, it was massive. With seating for up to 8 people, it was like Buick took your house, slapped some wheels on it, and called it a day. But don't let its size fool you. This beast had some tricks up its sleeve that would make even the most skeptical dad nod in approval. Ever tried to fit a week's worth of luggage, camping gear, and your kid's entire toy collection in one car? Well, the estate wagon said, "Hold my beer." Its cavernous interior could swallow up more stuff than you'd think possible. And get this, it had a rear-facing third-row seat. Imagine the kids' excitement when you tell them they can ride backwards and wave at all the cars behind you. Number 8. Lincoln Continental Mark V. All right, we've seen family-friendly behemoths, but what about a car that could make even Elvis feel like a king? That's right. We're cruising into the world of personal luxury with the Lincoln Continental Mark V. This wasn't just a car. It was a rolling red carpet that screamed, "I've made it." Picture this. It's 1977, and you're pulling up to the hottest club in town. As you step out of your Mark V, heads turn faster than a disco ball. Why? Because this beauty was dripping with style from bumper to bumper. The sleek lines, the opera windows, and that iconic Continental hood ornament, it was like driving a tuxedo. But here's where things get really interesting. The Mark V wasn't just about looking good. It was about feeling like $1,000,000. Slide into that plush leather interior, and you'd swear you were sitting in your living room. If your living room had power everything and a sound system that could blow your socks off. Now, you might be thinking, sure, it's fancy, but what made it so special? Well, hold on to your bell-bottoms, because the Mark V had a secret weapon that made it the ultimate status symbol. It wasn't just the car itself, it was who drove it. We're talking about A-list celebrities, business tycoons, and even the king of rock and roll himself. Number 9. Dodge Monaco Wagon. Hold on to your keys, car enthusiasts. We've covered some serious Detroit iron, but now it's time to shine a spotlight on the unsung hero of hauling, the Dodge Monaco Wagon. Think station wagons can't be cool? This beast might just change your mind. Back in the day, Dodge took a vehicle designed for groceries and soccer practice and injected it with some serious Mopar magic. The Monaco Wagon wasn't just about space. It had a secret under the hood. With engine options up to a 5.9-liter V8 pumping out 180 horses, this family hauler could hustle. It's like Dodge decided to build a muscle car disguised as your dad's work vehicle. And get this, some of these wagons even came with beefed-up suspension, turning them into sleeper hits among gearheads. But the Monaco Wagon wasn't just about performance. It became a pop culture icon, showing up in movies and TV shows. Remember those police cars chasing the Duke boys? Yep, that was our Monaco. It proved that practicality and performance could coexist, making it the Swiss Army knife of 70s cars. Number 10. Mercury Marquis. All right, we've seen muscle in disguise, but what about luxury that whispers? Enter the Mercury Marquis, Ford's answer to the question, how quiet can a car really be? This land yacht wasn't just big, it was a floating fortress of tranquility. Remember those police chases in the Monaco? Well, in the Marquis, you might not even hear them coming. Back in the 70s, the Marquis became a big deal for its unique styling. That distinctive front grille wasn't just for show, it was like the face of luxury staring down everything else on the road. But the real magic happened inside. Ford's engineers pulled off some serious wizardry with sound insulation. We're talking a ride so quiet you could hear a pin drop at 70 miles per hour. But the Marquis wasn't just about peace and quiet. It packed some serious punch under that mile-long hood. And get this, some of the tech that made the Marquis so smooth is making a comeback in modern cars. Can you guess which features in your new ride have roots in this 70s icon? Well, we've taken quite a ride through the era of automotive excess, haven't we? These land yachts weren't just cars, they were rolling statements of American prosperity. But as we look back on these chrome-laden giants, we can't help but wonder, what happened to the dream of bigger is better? The oil crises of the 70s hit these gas guzzlers hard, and suddenly, efficiency became the new luxury. Our beloved land yachts started disappearing from showrooms faster than you could say fuel economy. But here's the thing, their legacy lives on. Look at today's SUVs and luxury sedans. They might be more efficient, but that appetite for space and comfort, that's pure land yacht DNA. So, what's next for American cars? Will we see a return to the days of massive, rolling living rooms? Or are we heading towards a future where electric power brings back the spirit of these behemoths without the guilt? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the era of the land yacht left an indelible mark on American car culture that we're still feeling today.